Hello, my English ninjas. Today we're going to talk about reported speech. This is a theme for upper intermediate English, and because of that, I'm not going to speak Spanish in this video. I'm going to speak strictly in English. Let's get started. First, what is reported speech? Well, reported speech is when you want to say what someone else said in the past. That is reported speech. In this lesson, we're going to look at 3 parts of reported speech: statements, questions, and request. Statements, of course, are, for example, I like chocolate. That's what you heard. Then you tell your friend, David, she said that she liked chocolate. That is optional. You can use it if you want, but you don't have to. Questions. What questions? These are questions like who, what, why, when, where. If you have a question, for example, what do you want to eat? You will tell your friend or your family member. He, Rob, asked me what I wanted to eat. Okay, it changes. We're going to look at this in more detail. This is just a quick overview. You report yes or no questions a little differently. The direct speech would be, do you like chocolate? Reported, he asked me if I like chocolate. And the last one, requests. Requests and questions are very similar, but there's a difference. Requests don't have to be a question. They can. For example, could you close the window? Reported, he asked me to close the window. But as we will see later in the video, a request could be a statement. Please close the door. Let's look at these in much more detail. We will begin with statements. Here you can see this table. This table tells you the direct speech tense. In regards to reported speech, the present simple, direct speech, I like chocolate. You can see this is the present simple. It will then change in reported speech to she said that she liked chocolate. It changes to the past simple. Do you see? Present continuous. Julie is eating pizza. This is the present continuous tense. He said Julie was eating pizza. It changes to the past continuous, was eating. Past simple, I bought a new car. You have 2 options here. The easy option is to keep it the same. She said that she bought a new car, or she said that she had bought a new car. Both are correct, and you will hear both. For me, I recommend not changing it because that's the easiest, right? Just be aware that you will hear this version. The past continuous, I was drinking beer, changes to the past perfect continuous. She said she had been drinking a beer. Present perfect, I have written a new book, changes to the past perfect. She said she had written a new book. It changes to the past perfect. And then the past perfect stays the same. I had broken my phone. She said that she had broken her phone. It continues. Will, I'll see you later. That's the direct speech that you hear. Reported speech, she said she would see me later. Will changes to would. If it has a star here on the table, it does not change. Okay? Would doesn't change. Can changes to the past. Could. Lee can play piano. She said Lee could play piano. As I mentioned before, could, should, and might do not change in reported speech. And must can change, or it can stay the same. Direct speech, I must stop smoking. She said she must stop smoking, or she said she had to stop smoking. Those are your 2 options. Moving on to questions. What questions? As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, what questions are questions like who, what, when, where. It also includes how. When you want to change from direct to reported speech, we need to eliminate do or does because now it is not a question in reported speech. It changes from a question to a statement. So we need to eliminate the do or does. For example, where do you live? She asked me where I lived. Notice that we get rid of the do, okay? And then we change this to lived because this question is in the present simple. Okay, don't forget those rules from before. How do you know her? She asked me how I knew her. Notice we get rid of the do. She asked me how I knew her. Knew, it changes to the past because this question was in the present simple. What do you do at work? She asked me what I did at work. Okay, you get rid of this do, but be careful. This do we need, right? This is the verb. In this case, in questions, do in the present simple is used as an auxiliary verb or a helping verb, okay? And when we change to statements, we don't need it. But we do need this do because this is the main verb, okay? She asked me what I did at work. What questions with to be changes a little bit? Let's look at some examples. Where are you from? She asked me where I was from, okay? Notice the I was, you change the subject and the verb position. Are you? I was, okay? They switch, they change. When is the wedding? She asked me when the wedding was. I know it sounds a little weird with was at the end, but this is the correct version. This is how we would say it. And notice, was changes from the present is to the past. Who was that woman? This question is in the past tense, so we don't need to change it. She asked me who that woman was. It stays the same. Yes or no questions. How we report yes or no questions changes a little bit. Make sure to use the word if when reporting these questions. And we also change the tense as always. Do you like dogs? She asked me if I liked dogs. Notice this is in the past. She asked me if I liked dogs. Does Alex like to play the guitar? She asked me if Alex liked to play the guitar. Notice the change. If liked in the past. Let's look at a question in the past simple. Did you go to the park last week? She asked me if I went to the park last week. Notice past simple. And remember, you don't need to change past simple. You keep it in the past. If I went to the park last week. Now that we've looked at questions, let's look at how we report request. This is the rule. Ask me plus to plus infinitive. Infinitive is the verb that has not changed, like eat, like, do, have. It is not changed or conjugated. Direct speech, please help me. Reported. She asked me to help her. Can you close the window? She asked me to close the window. Could you open the door? She asked me to open the door. So notice, it does not matter the tense. Notice, it is always asked me, infinitive with to, okay? The requests are not too bad. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that I was helpful. See you in the next video.